Hello and welcome to Please Don't Send Me into Outer Space, the podcast intent on exploring all that science fiction and fantasy has to offer, one movie at a time. My name is J33. No, it's Joel.
My name is Sarah.
And my name is Aaron.
That didn't work.
I see what you were going for.
Yeah.
That was good.
No numbers. Dumb numbers.
My name is THX1138.
Yeah, that's a good one.
THX.
R2DJ.
Isn't that the new technology for sound?
Oh, THX1138 was a George Lucas college film.
That was his first movie, yeah. And he named his sound studio after it.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't stand for anything.
That's a trippy movie, too. That might need to
I want to see it. I haven't
into the
seen it
randomizer.
Robert Duvall.
That's a crazy one. That is a crazy
People
movie.
look like
if you guys
Lobot.
haven't seen it. Yeah.
Lobot?
Silver-plated,
Lobot.
metallic-faced police officers.
No.
It's crazy. That is just a crazy movie.
Yeah, see it, yeah. For sure. The movie this week was Just Imagine from 1930. I had this up a second ago.
Was it from 1930 or 1933?
1930.
Oh, okay.
Directed by David Butler, starring Elle Brendel as Double O, Maureen O'Sullivan as LN18, John Garrick as J21, and Marjorie White as D6. There's some cool names for future folks.
That's right.
Drop D6.
Mhm.
Drop the D6.
You rolled a 1. You whiffed. Nice try. So, wow. Musical.
There was some music in there.
There was.
I remember there being some music.
Yeah, very, very memorable. I was reading all about the most popular song from this movie, and actually became a hit outside of the movie, was the Never Swat a Fly song.
Shut up.
No, seriously, that's what it's.
No.
It was like covered by somebody else with like different like percussion instruments and.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying, it was a different version of the song,
Right.
represented
Not
not
the
an
one-
actual just recording of.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody covered it outside of the thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, for a minute, I was in a little bit of disbelief, but I guess get a right couple of singers there. I mean, sure, you could shine that turd right up. I'm sorry.
I don't even know how to talk about this movie.
I just take it one step at a time. It's weird. Like,
Well, I guess.
what's your synopsis?
Okay. So what we have here, is this is a movie about the year 1980.
The future.
But our representation is that obviously this film was filmed in 1930.
Mm-hmm.
So this is supposed to be 50 years in the future, as someone from 1930 would believe the future would be.
Flock of Seagulls is topping the charts.
Absolutely.
Most popular movie is Rambo: First Blood Part 2.
Yep.
Something else, 1980s.
No.
No?
Absolutely not, Joel.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Modern discourse is that you can fly your airplane up to someone else's airplane, and you can just chat with them.
That's
This is a thing.
Yeah.
This is a thing, man.
That was a interesting scene that they didn't. I mean, once they got done with the initial, like, super futury stuff, they kind of just put a lid over it, a cloth over it, and was like, it's basically the 1930s. Some things are different.
I have to say, though, that the very beginning of the film I thought was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like the idea that they were like, this is what New York would have looked 50 years ago in 1880 or whenever, and then this is what modern 1930, New York looks like. And then here's what it looks like in 1980. I thought that was really cool. That was really well done, in my opinion.
Yeah, that part was... I enjoyed that part, yeah, for sure.
I felt like I was still holding on and I grasped everything. And I think the beginning of the future segment, I was on board too. I was right there with them.
Yeah. That's cool with the planes and the model city.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
such
cool
a cool
looking.
model.
They had these really cool looking model planes that they were, I'm guessing, like on something in a studio or something. But they were riding in them almost like the Dumbo ride or something at Disneyland.
Yeah, good
Serious?
call.
Oh no! Seriously,
single passenger planes.
Yeah, but they were really cool looking.
So cool looking.
Yeah. So it's about this. If you were going to make a movie back then, it had to be about love, right? You had to have some sort of love relationship in there.
Well, I mean,
like even the comedies, somebody was getting up with somebody else.
I haven't done much research into storytelling, but I would have to say that, most films that have romance involved in some way or another, you're going to profit, Yeah. So, throwing a romance in there was probably smart on their part.
Right.
For the moviegoers to go and...
Nothing better than seeing two beautiful people end up together in the end. Like Edward Scissorhands and Winona Ryder. They're still together, aren't they?
Have you seen the end of that movie, Joel?
No, I turned it off after they danced together in the snow. Anyway. So all the trouble starts here in the future. There's a couple of points of trouble starting. In this future, people only get married through contract. If somebody is contracted to marry somebody else, you can put in an objection if you want to marry that person. But once that contract is signed, the court decides who is going to end up with who. So our hero, I'm making quotation marks, J21, really desperately wants to marry LN18. He's in love with her, and you can tell because at some point they press their faces together and look at the camera.
Wow. It's so true, though.
Yeah. And that's like a silent film thing, that's the whole mugging thing like that.
Yeah.
It's... at least in silent film, we had the advantage of not having to listen to one of them sing for about 5 minutes while looking at the camera.
Yeah.
That was brutal, man. That was pretty brutal.
This was like a genre mashup.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It was sci-fi, romance, musical, and something else.
And some fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Legal drama.
Legal? Yeah, I was like, this is a movie about a guy who wants to get a marriage license.
Totally.
In the future.
Gotta work through 1980s bureaucracy.
We
Gotta get my woman.
But we
I need the paperwork.
What do you mean you didn't file the papers? Now R45 is going to marry J.P. Morgan Stanley.
Gotta throw some numbers in there, though.
5-5.
There you go, kid.
The problem wasn't that he didn't file the paperwork. It was that the other guy had already filed paperwork.
Damn.
And you can't cancel that once it's been filed.
Right. Well, and then also the court determined that the other suitor was better off.
Yeah.
MT3, who I thought I thought for a second they were saying MP3, and I was like,
oh, yeah.
But it's MT. Yeah. He was, we didn't know what kind of muckety-muck he was, but the other guy was like, I've reached the top of my profession already. I can't get any higher, so I'm never going to be better than this guy.
I got the feeling like that MT3 was a policia. Like he was, or some type of
he didn't know the law.
Lawman, yeah. So
he looked a little too clean cut, though.
Oh, okay.
He had like a big penthouse apartment.
That's true. So maybe he was government instead of police. Good point. Good point.
This kind of reminded me of the party a lot. The Communist Party.
That party.
Because...
I've never been invited.
Because everybody that was involved in the political stuff seemed to have, like, special perks and money, and there were controls put on everyone of what they could and couldn't do. They had to, like, apply for things.
True.
Yeah.
So, that might just be my feeling because I've seen some of that before, but I don't know. Like, I was kind of wondering if they weren't insinuating towards some other thing that was going on socially at the time.
I mean, I'm imagining the future to become more mechanical, more systematic, more organized. It makes sense.
A lot of movies do that. I mean, like Brazil and like
Gattaca.
Yeah, Gattaca. Like a lot of sci-fi movies are about how everyone just kind of has to fall in line in the future and
totally
wear no colors.
Elysium a little bit there too. If you haven't seen that one yet. Cool.
Only one that doesn't is Back to the Future Part 2, because you could still just walk into a store and buy that almanac of sports facts just whenever you want.
You gotta wear 2 ties though, man.
Oh yeah, 2 ties. Don't take your hoverboard onto the water.
They have the adjustable clothes.
Oh yeah, though. That's pretty cool.
Marty never paid for that Pepsi. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, for one thing, his pockets were inside out. So
Well, that's the way the kids were wearing them.
But he couldn't even hold any money in his pockets, man. Anyways. I'm gonna have to say, though, this movie was pretty awesome. There's some really cool stuff.
It's certainly enjoyable, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were entertained by it. We were seeing what was going to happen next. I wouldn't say it was as crazy as like Doppelganger.
No, it wasn't Doppelganger crazy.
Oh, no.
But it was 1930s crazy.
On a podcast scale, yeah. Yeah. Definitely not Doppelganger crazy.
It was somewhere in between, what was the other one we watched that was pretty old? I mean, not
Trapped by Television.
Trapped by Television. It was better than Trapped by Television because it was at least interesting.
I was very hesitant when we started this movie.
Me too.
Yeah, that's what
I
we
was
were
scared
worried about.
Yeah.
Even though I liked that movie, you guys.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it was super short. That's fine. So we didn't even.
This one was like 2 hours long.
Like they did a bunch of weird future stuff in there like that, but that wasn't the weirdest part of the movie as far as I think any of us thought. The weirdest part of the movie was the actor El Brendel, who is a vaudeville performer, and his specialty is pretending to be a Swedish immigrant. Is that a thing?
Well, let's kind of describe how does this guy show up in the movie, you know? I think that was actually a scene that was very kind of disorienting for me.
So, our hero can't marry, or no, he got a roommate, and they're real friends. They're real close. Anyways, anything he's...
Their beds were in the same room. So.
Exactly. Well, yeah, even though he's at the top of his job, they live in a freaking studio apartment.
Yeah, 1930s. Don't you think that in 50 years, people will have their own domiciles?
Well,
I would say.
Living in pods. There won't even be houses. It's like the Matrix, except you get to go out and go to the bathroom every once in a while and get back in your pod. It's good that way. But they're going to go see an experiment. They I've got tickets to go see an experiment or something like that for some reason. And the experiment is that they've discovered a man who died in 1930, and they're going to try to bring him back to life. And that was one of the coolest sets, because it had the lightning, or not even lightning, it was like circular electrical things going back and forth that were animated on there, and other bubbling cauldron type things, potion things.
This electric donut, or I don't know what you want to call it, kind of circular shapes are really cool.
Yeah.
All the neon bulbs kind of blinking in the background.
Oh yeah, the neon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool looking. But we don't stick there for very long. Once we get Dorcas up out of the resurrection chamber, we start.
Dorcas.
Did they press a button, or did they inject him with something? I forget exactly what the initial
They
bring him
flip
back.
some switches.
Oh, that's right.
And then they turn him around.
Yeah.
And I think that if we had been audiences from back then, we would have been like, oh, it's that guy. But I had never heard of him. I looked him up now, and he was a semi-famous vaudeville actor. This was actually the movie he was most famous for.
Really?
But
didn't I guess it was vaudeville?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool that he really was. He was doing that kind of body language and stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
That act he does later with like switching wigs, you could see him like doing that on stage or something like that. This could be his famous thing. But yeah, he was famous for, like I said, pretending to be a Swedish immigrant.
Yeah, we didn't know what accent he was trying to do at first, but it was like
Tommy Wiseau.
It was like making fun of some.
Totally Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau.
Hey, he doesn't have an accent.
You're right, he doesn't.
I've been studying this movie for years, and I think I figured out what I need to do.
Oh my god.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Hollywood.
We're all still with the story at this point, right? I mean, we're following along. We understand the chain of events.
This does make sense, though, in some capacity. The scientists brought him to life, and they're like, well, forget you.
Yeah,
we're done with you, man.
That's
we're done with you. Like this poor man from 1930s. Like, you brought me back to life. Well, what do you plan on doing next? And he's like, well, experiment success. I'm done with you.
That was all I wanted you for. Like, you're on your own.
But then the morbid part of that scene too is like he looked at me. He's like, I could just kill you if you want.
Yeah,
like, straight up. Like, what are medical ethics like going on in 1980? Like, this is insanity. Like, it was just like, wow.
That's like the year 3000. He just needs to find the suicide booth.
I was trying to figure out if they can resurrect anybody, or if this was like the medical experiment was only possible because he was struck by lightning. Like if being killed by lightning could, and then being run through electricity could bring you back to life.
I don't think they thought it through.
No, that makes sense to me. Definitely. I'm trying to think from like a 1930s point of view. Maybe electricity like preserved him.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Still,
they put a shock through him and then they like took a shock back out or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that's a Frankenstein constant.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
But no undead, dumb being that murders his bride eventually.
Spoilers.
I don't like that guy. I mean, it was fun. He progressed the story, and some interesting things happened because he was in it. But I feel like they could have left him out.
They used him as like as a story tool to show the viewer what the future's like.
Right, but we're supposed to be the viewer.
That's it.
We're supposed to be the Dorcas.
If you're from 1930, you can go, okay, cool. Like, we can relate with this guy because we've never seen the future. So he's like, oh boy, I'm hungry, and he's like, sure, let me take you to this cafe here.
I haven't eaten 50 years, guys.
He didn't have to be some, immigrant stereotype. Like, I don't even know what this stereotype is. I'm so unfamiliar with what they were trying to do.
But
same. I knew it was probably not the most pleasant thing to be doing.
Those damn Swedes.
Is this a time when, Swedish immigrants were getting, picked on in America?
Probably. I mean,
I don't know the context.
Maybe the writer of the film just was like, I'm sticking it to those Swedes. Kept me up all night the other night, so I'm going to write...
Or it'd be crazy if they, already knew this guy and already knew he did that, and they, built this movie, around him.
Totally.
That wouldn't be that
I know I could get this actor.
Either,
yeah.
I know I could get this guy. Why don't we write him in?
He does that thing that's so funny.
Yeah, that's it.
That's weird.
Yeah, looking at his...
I like the speculation, though.
His credits. I can see Sven, Virgil, Olaf, Papa Jensen, Grandpa Childers. Yeah, this guy, he had a thing.
He definitely, when you mute him, a lot of his mannerisms, though, were hilarious.
Yeah, he's doing that typical, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin vaudeville type thing, animated.
Yeah.
And that works, yeah. But I don't... It's the talking that was the issue.
Oh, God, yes. No, it definitely... I remember being all on board in this movie, and then he opened his mouth, and I was like, okay... And then, of course, this is, of course, after we had, the 10-minute guy staring at the screen singing a song about why he loved this lady. Like, that was pretty brutal too, man.
Well,
Singing.
The first time he broke into song was after the
Was
guy
it?
got-
I thought
yeah,
it was
because
before.
remember he was like drunk and then he climbed up into the building.
Oh, I thought... No, there was a song prior to that, I believe.
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's okay, Joel.
I thought that was going to be the one song. I was like, fingers crossed.
They're all
This
blending
is the
together.
one song.
I knew it was a musical. I just
Didn't want to tell us.
It's part of the surprise of the randomizer's choice. I try to learn as little as I can about it, but basically I didn't want a repeat of Trapped by Television where it was only slightly about the future. So
Yeah.
that's why I looked into it beforehand. But yeah.
Well,
He is a part foil, part comedy relief, part heroic goofus. Loves to get drunk, loves to ogle ladies. There's a lot of skin in this movie.
yeah.
This is a pre-code movie. Like the Hays Code was established in 1930, the same year as this movie. But until that, like people could do whatever they wanted in movies. There wasn't any set rules. A theater could refuse something if they thought it was too racy or something like that. But Hollywood, put out movies where there was nudity and there was actual sexual innuendo and stuff like that. And this, like, I wasn't expecting to see ladies in their slips. Oh, yeah. Hubba hubba.
Them 1980s fashion, man.
These girls weren't wearing bras either.
Nope.
This was like a full on like 20s, 30s, like the way people dressed.
Yep.
And there was like a lot of silk and satin and just really like form-fitting and kind of sleek-looking clothing.
Yeah, bare midriffs, bare backs.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. The costumes were actually pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
I think a couple of them were tailored really awesome.
Mm.
Like creative for the time, but also, like, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, now.
Yeah, we have pockets here. The future, no pockets. Remember that.
I liked the sleek design of the guy's suit, though.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I do say that it was pretty lame. He didn't have any pockets. At least until later on in the story.
It's got
Then he
nice
had
lines.
pockets.
Oh, yeah, he gave himself his own pockets. Turned them inside out. Because that was the style at the time.
Oh, man.
So let's stick with some future stuff. Like
Okay.
they go. He wants to eat. Like
Yeah.
you were saying, and we get food capsules. Everything is in capsules. The food, the alcohol. Well, not the medicine because for some reason they keep giving him shots in his rear end.
Well, in order to keep him revived and alive, apparently
Vaccinations he never got.
the receptionist at the place has to give him shots. I don't know. That was kind of a weird whatever. They just didn't want to complicate the story anymore, so they're probably just like, just make that lady the one who gives him the shots,
It happened a couple times. Oh, at least she won't be sticking things in my butt anymore. What? No, he was talking about needles. Okay, never mind. Oh, man.
So at this point, how's it going for that dude and his lady, Joel?
Well, they're not going to be able to get together, even though she loves him. She met him after the person that she originally signed the marriage contract with, and there's a kerfuffle kind of situation where after he sings a 15-minute song, he gets caught by the fiancé because of Drunky McDumbo climbing up the side of the building and going, "Hey guys, I was lonely," or whatever he's doing. And he goes out into the main character, J21, goes out, and he's just like on a street, like with a street lamp style type thing. And there is some creepazoid standing across the street. And like you said, Sarah is like, there's a vampire.
Oh, yeah. He totally looked
Bela
like...
Lugosi just chilling
No,
in the corner
not
over there.
Bela Lugosi, but
He had,
some
like,
creep.
darkness, like, under his eyes and, like, a cape and, like...
Bela Lugosi from Planet
Yeah.
Man from Outer Space,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
It was like Dracula.
Yeah, he just comes over and says, "I've got what you need. Come over here to this alleyway." I'll make you feel better. Or something.
Oh God.
You didn't see that part, right?
No,
It was like, you
I
can
missed
have
that part,
everything you want.
Yeah.
You can have the girl that you...
Yes, we could fix this for you.
Yeah.
Like, yo, the creep is like...
Super weird.
Well, number one, how do you know his business?
Yeah.
Number two, okay, why do I need to go to this alley?
And that wasn't the same guy, was it?
Yeah, it was.
That was the guy in the office?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
I mean, it wasn't the old man.
That's what I was asking.
Oh, no. It was his assistant that's like...
His vampire assistant.
that's being annoyed by the women later.
They did a really good job making him look like a total creep, though. I agree.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty awesome.
Well, I don't think we were supposed to think that. But
he's just supposed to look really haggard from his scientific work, maybe?
I have no idea what we were supposed to think. Because he's just like... He doesn't look like a clean-cut, square-jawed American like this other guy. He looks like a gangly, I don't know what, wearing glasses. But he takes him over to this famous scientist, Z4, who kind of look like Edison to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
And everyone knows who Z4 is. He's a famous
He's like the most
scientist.
famous.
So I hear you want to get back with your lady, but you don't have enough notoriety or something like that. Well... Why don't you go to Mars?
He kind of reminded me of, speaking of vampires, he kind of reminded me of, like, Rutger Hauer and Buffy the Vampire Slayer with the robe.
Sure, yeah, I can see that. That's what you mean, the old man?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. With the white hair, especially.
Yeah.
I was trying to, like, match a modern-day actor to the old man's face, and I couldn't. Like, I kept going through several different people, and every time he'd look, he kind of looked like if Marlon Brando hadn't gotten overweight as he got older and kept that same kind of face. Like, it was, a handsome face on this old man, but it's besides the point. The point is, he needs this pilot, because he wants to send the first person to Mars on this special rocket.
This is like, okay, we're going along, we're in the future, we understand everything, like, right turn, like, just out of nowhere. What?
Right turn, hit a banana.
What? We're going to Mars now? Like, I did not see this coming.
Well, I remember there being, like, whatever the marriage court is supposed to do in this universe, like, you're supposed to be able to, you can send a form in that's like, hey, like, I actually really want to marry her.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like an appeal or something. Yeah.
And they give you
said it was going to take 4 months.
They give you 4 months to be able to essentially show that you're the better suitor. And so, this is like his big opportunity to like go to Mars and show everyone that, it just so happens that this could be done in the same amount of time. You can go to Mars in 4 months. You can go there, come back in 4 months.
You don't understand. I want to pay for a baby to slide down a slide so that I can have it with this woman.
Oh yeah, the baby vending machine. I forgot
right
about
next
that
to the cafe.
part.
Yeah.
You get a soda,
and get this baby.
and then you get a baby.
Yeah, why not?
It's kind of a weird. I hate using the reference "Brave New World," but it felt very Brave New World in that sense. Like magical food. Babies come from a machine.
They slid a baby down a slide in a basket.
It was in a basket.
It was like, do you want a boy or a girl? Boy, here comes a boy sliding down a little slide.
I always felt like they didn't have a decision. Like, she said that, and he was like, well, we'll see what we get. Press the button. Oh, luckily, I guess it is a boy.
Chance.
Yeah, whatever they have. We got an Asian kid. So
horrible.
For some reason, J21 thinks this is a fantastic idea. Rushes back to his apartment, and his roommate is like, I gotta go too, gee whiz. And the man from the past has said, oh, I want to go see a Mars too. Because he thinks that they keep saying Mars, but he's got an accent, so he thinks they're saying Mars, like mothers.
Okay.
He doesn't understand.
I didn't catch that joke.
Because he's from a different country.
Yeah, those stupid foreigners.
Whoa.
I'm totally kidding. I would never, ever, ever say anything like that.
I mean, her mother is a foreigner, technically.
Yeah, true.
So, I don't think she would actually say that. But
Nothing but love for Foreigners and the band Foreigner. No,
the band Foreigner. They got that one song.
Hot-blooded, man.
Oh, hot. No, never mind.
I want to know what love is.
I want you to show me. Read a book, dude.
Oh, God.
Figure it out on your own. So this is a great thing, I guess, because they're like, essentially go to like a retirement party for the two pilots. I guess they both work for the same company, and we get to see a kind of a weird meeting room, alcohol,
long haul kind of
like coordinated dance thing. All the alcohol is in pill form too, so they don't have bottles or anything like that. They've got pills that they're all taking to get drunk together.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that they've done this several times before.
I have to say that their choreographed dance scene definitely reveals that this is not the first outing for this bunch.
He's taking a 2-week vacation.
I gotta go back home and practice my dance moves.
Honey, you don't understand it. It's happening tonight.
It's a flash mob.
I feel, yeah, totally.
They're all dressed up like waiter sailors.
I almost feel that like there was no need to go to Mars because like they could just do a dance number in front of the judge and he'd be like,
You're right. You've got the moves. She says he's just a friend. After that, then there's essentially outside of the meeting room, there's a huge ball going on, so they were like leaving everybody waiting.
Yeah, what the hell, right?
And then we get the Never Swat a Fly performance because
oh man,
the roommate and his girlfriend have been rehearsing this, I guess.
I can't even.
Why?
Like,
this is what, yeah.
I can't even.
Can you imagine being somewhere and someone just goes, let me perform for you this?
We live in an artist community. I can't imagine that.
Like, it didn't really hit me until, like, they had the two flies on the stage while they were singing and dancing and whatnot. That, like, when Joel, when you mentioned, when you were like, how can anybody see this? Like, how can you see the flies?
Yeah. I mean, that was a weird...
That was so weird!
That's a freaking weird part anyways.
Did they really have flies?
Yes, they had, like, two flies that were, like, kind of get together, and then they show them, like, pushing, but we don't see them pushing the flies, and then the flies are, like, next to each other, like,
yeah.
Oh, they're kissing!
But, like...
Those poor flies.
Yeah.
Like, picture yourself as an audience member, and you see these two people, like, staring at something.
They were singing and dancing a second ago, and now they're just looking at the floor.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. If you didn't appreciate that dance number, luckily our Swedish friend is going to show up, and he's going to really steal the show. He's gonna get up there, and what does he do?
Well, I believe that Double O, is that what they're calling him?
Yeah.
Double O.
No, wait, Double O. I think it's
0-0.
007.
Oh, it is Double O.
0-0.
Yeah.
0-0.
You got it right.
He kind of just does this thing, man. He's got a bunch of different hats, and he puts a hat on and he imitates characters. Sometimes a man, sometimes a woman.
He's a farmer
based on hat.
He's a woman. He's her father. He's a priest.
All I know is if this is what the future, if this is your entertainment in the future, if this is it, man, like, if this is it, it's just hard. It's hard to think.
They've got video screens and stuff like that, but it seemed like the concept of TV had not occurred to them.
No.
So.
Well, I have to say that it is kind of an interesting way to look at the future, though. Instead of sitting in your box looking at a screen, actually people are still getting together, So, like, society is definitely kind of... It's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, the society did have an interesting way of being built. But, man, entertainment sucks in 1980. That's all I gotta say about that, man.
Yeah, thank God we don't live during that time. So...
Yeah, the guys that were all dancing in the bar room or whatever next door, they seemed like a military troop that, like, had...
Well, yeah, they had the uniforms.
Yeah. They seemed... They seemed like a bunch of military guys that, you know, were used to doing things in formation, but they just, like... They tricked that out and did, like a more elaborate formation march sounding thing. And then the fly one, that was boring.
Yeah. It was rough.
It was like having to watch like a random variety show just thrown in, and then that vaudeville guy.
That's what it was. It was a vaudeville show. We just saw, you know, like two people go up and do the performance, and then the guy comes up and does a comedy thing. You were basically watching just this chunk of like something you would actually see on stage at a vaudeville thing. Yeah. But it's the future. Mm-hmm. So totally. When we see the next, our two pilots are getting ready to get on this rocket. Cool looking rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an awesome rocket.
And nobody's told them that you're insane yet. Mm-hmm. For some reason.
No.
Doesn't his girlfriend tell him you don't have to go?
Well, he won't tell her what it's about. He won't tell her what he's even doing. And she's like, oh, I wish you would tell me. You know, he gives her a letter and says, don't open this until 4 the next morning. And
then they go off into space.
They go into outer space.
And that guy stowed away.
Yep. Goofus happens to be hiding. And
you didn't think they'd go without him.
Aaron, did you call that?
I called it, dude. I was like,
he's asleep inside.
I was like, hey Joel, it'd be really funny. It'd be really funny if 00 showed up.
No, I don't think anyone ever said that. That's not true.
I said, no, you're right. I'm making things
Wouldn't it be funny? No.
I've got an idea. Let's put that guy back in here.
When he's not on screen, everybody should be asking, where's 00? So
this is just part 1 of a franchise, not
probably, yeah. I wonder if they expected it. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
This guy, he's going to go on and do great things.
He's got a big future ahead of him.
His slave guy. So they're on their way to Mars. He's shocked that that's where they're going. They end up on Mars, and Mars is a very kind of jungly looking area.
I just remember how delicately they landed.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
expert landing.
Expert landing. Like there's so much thrust of this rocket, it just kind of goes, oh, there we are.
Yep.
And then you kind of see this weird, obscured monster. Maybe it's just a dog covered in like, in like paper mache.
I forgot about it. It was like a goat or something. Yeah.
It just kind of scurries very quickly off camera.
Martian.
Some kind of creature.
Never see anything like that again. It was just maybe it was like not supposed to be on set.
I don't know. It was very quick, kind of like, and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Kind of
it's like Pee Wee Herman riding his bike through all those movie sets.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That dog. I want to know that story of that dog now. What's going on there?
I don't know.
Adventures of Hollywood dog.
With a goat mask on.
He probably ran through a set. We can't find real goats. Put a goat mask on that dog. All right. Rolling.
Oh, God. So Mars actually looks pretty cool. Stalactites, stalagmites.
I liked that kind of like sideways landscape going. Yeah. And we kind of feel like we're just in the middle of like some nature-y spot.
Yeah, it's like the wilds of Africa or something like that. It's not jungle. They're like going... I mean, there's pathways and stuff like that, but they're like... It's like bamboo or something surrounding each of the sides and stuff like that. But what do we spy as we're walking along? Who peeks out of the bushes? Something you would exactly expect to find on Mars. Matt Damon. No, a woman. A woman in a bathing suit.
Yep.
Because in Mars, they can't afford actual clothing.
She had some pretty awesome hair. That was the first thing I noticed. She had it was pretty big hair.
Sticking up.
It was impressive.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty
It's
awesome.
not quite that bad, but yeah.
I was impressed anyways.
And where there's one lady, there's bound to be at least 20 more ladies.
Yeah.
Because,
they were led to the den of the ladies.
yeah, just ladies and Mars and ladies. It
With
goes hand in
their
hand.
come hither gestures, make those astronauts go crazy.
So naturally, these the two pilots are like super skeptical. They've got like pistols and they're ready to fire on somebody. I mean, they're future pistols. They're like square, but you know, Dorcas Maximus is double O is like, oh, I like what they're doing.
I
You got a future in acting.
I felt like they were all kind of dressed a little bit like it was definitely supposed to be weird, like futuristic alien, but it had like a almost like Hawaiian, like tribal, like Native Hawaiian look about it, and I just thought that was weird because we've all seen Star Trek and other stuff, and it just seemed kind of like a strange costume choice.
I'm gonna have to say that like this entire scene felt like the basis for what Gene Roddenberry wrote for away missions. You know, he's just like, okay, they gotta kind of look like that thing from that one movie. You know, like
I remember
throw in some
liking that.
60s acid trip kind of stuff, you know, but definitely the basis of the Martians from that one 1930s film. Like, it has a very weird away mission feel at this point.
Yeah. Like bring you to the palace or whatever of the people in charge here, and then you see their weird customs and their weird,
You know, in Roddenberry's version, the Swedish guy would have been a red shirt and he would have died.
Oh, he probably would have died 2 seconds in. And then there would have been some guy who would have been like, oh, sorry, we weren't here to tell you about that.
Big styrofoam rock falls on him.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time in this neck
certainly
of
feels
the
like it,
woods.
Yeah, a lot of,
Okay.
like, they can't communicate. Nobody communicates. And they meet the queen of the Martians, and she says a couple of things like unga or tunga or
Pantomiming.
bunga or whatever. And yeah, a lot of hand motions, like trying to do sign, pointing, fingers.
I don't think they had a language among themselves. They would like grunt at each other and make like rar sounds.
Right.
I wonder if they were like psychically linked.
Maybe.
Because they were pretty good at like knowing what was going to
going
happen.
on, yeah.
You know?
Totally,
Right.
they could have been.
They knew what those men wanted, and what they wanted was to take a bath together,
True. And then that's exactly what they gave them.
which does eventually happen. Not all three of them. One of them is like, no,
Oh my god.
not interested.
Like, it's just so weird. It's so weird because they're both just kind of like splashing in the water, and then out of nowhere they're surrounded by women, like from every side, and they're just kind of doing like this like
hello.
little leg kick dance thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. We also
I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know,
We
guys.
meet my favorite character at this point, too, because the queen calls out and we meet the one, apparently seems like the one male of the Martian clan. It's just some big guy wearing a loincloth and shoulder
Some weird
armor.
spikes all over him.
Yeah. Looking all...
Very, very definitely like Saiyan or
Yeah.
Goku kind of looking dude.
Yeah, he's got the...
His hair,
the
yeah.
Saiyan armor without the white cloth part. It was too hot to wear that part of my armor.
But then he looks like he's kind of like barnacle-y too, with all those little kind of like shell things going on.
Lemon nipple things.
Weird, just absolutely weird.
He looks like just like a
So
big
bizarre.
wrestler guy.
Yeah.
Like anime before anime, you know, like pre-anime kind
Yeah.
of thing. It's weird. But I have to say that like this was a really surprisingly good turn, I think, for the movie. Like weird, but in such a way that I was perplexed. Like
Yeah.
at this point, I did not. I thought maybe we were going to get another musical number about some sad pilot flying into space.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I was waiting for it because I was like, here we go.
Yeah.
Sad pilot into space song.
We're
But
on
nope.
Mars, it's a mystery where we are.
Nope, nothing like that though. No, we get crazy Martians.
Yeah.
So cool, and the sets were so awesome.
Well, everything's like super peaceful, and the Mars women are very happy to be there, and they all
Try and take the guy's clothes off.
Yeah, well, that's because they were going to bait them.
Oh.
Apparently, I have no idea why they were trying to take off that immigrant's clothes. Leave that immigrant's clothes on. Just to tuck his shirt.
Nobody says immigrant anymore.
He would have
not in this state.
He just wouldn't have it. It was pretty funny.
Yes.
Yeah. I couldn't stop laughing at that part because it was just so like he's like kicking his feet like Mario style, like when Mario jumps. Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
Yeah. Eventually, we get to a place where they take. It's like they're going to do a show for them. So the queen is sitting at her throne, and they're all standing around, and it's like some sort of weird theater that has like a forest area thing.
Yeah, like an enclosed area with a forest.
You start to see like a performance, like people poking their heads out. I don't even know if they're people. They look weird. Like I thought maybe there were other creatures, but then
all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, gets real. Sorry, I had to cuss for that. It gets real.
It gets real.
There's violence, some kind of chaos is going on, an attack. I didn't know what was going to happen.
We see a couple of Martian women slump down dead.
Yeah. They're murdered.
Kind of shocking. Like,
yeah, in the middle of this movie, it's like we had no forewarning.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, it got real. It got real.
And all three of our heroes get clubbed over the head or something and get dragged into a cart.
They're very similar looking characters, though, right? Like the spiky fro guy.
I think at this point he's the only one we've seen that looks the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they look similar.
Oh, I thought
we did see a whole bunch of other males.
I thought the queen was there as well.
Oh, that was later. Yeah.
Okay.
They take her to him.
Okay.
They look exactly the same. Like this looks just like our Super Saiyan friend, and the queen looks just like the other queen, except for she's doing stupid hand things and going.
Everybody's yelling and.
Yeah, like she's going.
Oh yeah, wicked laugh.
I forgot about the laugh.
And then the hand gestures as well, and the head thrown back.
I think I didn't hear that part because I went into coma very briefly.
It's okay, Joel.
This was kind of this Marzi stuff was a little bit. I just kind of didn't know what to do anymore at this point. I mean, I knew I had to kind of continue watching to see what was going to happen, but I wasn't as interested as I was before.
I almost feel like they planned all this stuff out and like maybe even planned out a bunch of other stuff, but they were like, this movie's really running really long and we're running low on budget or something like that. So put them in jail. Now they gotta escape.
Yeah. And then once they're in jail, like our pilot, what's his name? J21. J21 is lamenting the fact that the time is running out, and he's not concerned with their current well-being, but the fact that he's not going to be able to make it back in time to get married, or to his lady.
Yeah, he's got to get to the chapel, and he's going to get married.
Yep.
Is that the part? Well, he needs to get to the church on time.
Oh, church on time. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because he believes in modern love.
That's right.
And he's afraid of Americans. We love you, David Bowie. Anyway.
Yeah. Is that the part where she, like, raps on the moon?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, what happens is like the Oh, no, we totally missed that part.
I thought it happened before this. I just didn't remember when.
The doofus and the other pilot, while they're getting their bath, their royal bath or whatever, the queen takes J22 over to her telescope, and she's like, "Hey, check it. This is what I look at." And then when he looks at the Earth, suddenly his lady's face forms
onto the moon.
D6 face on the moon. And she starts saying the lyrics of the song he was singing when they were together, which is like, you are the notes, I am the melody, and we can't make a tune unless we're together. But instead of singing it like he did, even though the music is playing in the background, she just kind of scats it.
She just says the words, like, kind of in a little bit of sync. I don't know,
and,
a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be fine if it was just like a simple refrain, but she goes on for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It goes on for a while.
Her disembodied head.
On
Just
the moon.
saying the lyrics to the rhythm of the song. I guess he was right. He is the melody, and she's just the notes.
She's just the notes, man.
Yeah, so she can't do the sing part. That should have been the end of the movie.
Yeah.
No.
Drop the mic right there. Definitely.
Best part. Boom. Over.
Boom. So it's looking pretty rough for our heroes, isn't it? They've been trapped.
They've been like hit a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Immigrant guy keeps getting hit over the head by evil Super Saiyan dude.
We have appearance number 2 of Dog Creature, like full appearance this time.
Did it show up?
In the courtroom or in the court of the evil queen?
Oh, I didn't see it.
The dog, it kind of just scanters off to the left. Yeah,
it's like Ambrosius.
Yeah,
it's a coward dog.
But it was pretty. I'd have to say they did a really good job of covering
and they,
a dog
shaved
and stuff.
part of it or something.
Oh,
weird.
you're talking about. Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't know that was the same thing, but yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
had like a number shaved into it or something.
It was pretty weird.
Ah, that poor pup.
They had like titles in this movie too, like you see in a silent movie. Like every once in a while, something would come up on the screen and say, "And then this
4
happened."
months later,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happened in the moment, like, where they said, we only have 4 days left before we can leave in time so I can get my marriage license? And then it was like, there was a space, and then 4 days have gone by.
Now we've got 2 hours.
Did anything happen in that time? Or was it just like fade to black and then fade back up again?
They've just been imprisoned for those 4 days.
A long time,
yeah. And then, luckily, good Super Saiyan pops out of the floor in a very conveniently cube-shaped block.
That was really cool.
I like that. Yeah, it wasn't even like a trapdoor because it was thick.
Just like stone, right?
It
was earthbending or something.
It made me want to see like a mashup on YouTube of people like coming in trapdoors.
Floor.
Yeah, coming in through the floor or something.
That'd be cool.
Then we're gonna have Hateful Eight in there, and you're gonna be upset. So then it becomes kind of Scooby-Doo-ish.
Yeah, a little bit of Scooby-Doo action there.
They're in the tunnel underneath the prison cell, trying to find their way out. And on their tail is evil Super Saiyan. Now, wait, I have to say one thing. I realize that a Super Saiyan is like one of those like blonde with the hair sticking straight up or something like that. This guy has his hair sticking up. You know, I could just call him Goku or something like that. I'm Super Saiyan. Okay, whatever. Stop looking at me.
There's no one judging you right now, Joel.
Aaron?
No one's judging you, dude.
Okay.
Nothing but love, man.
But,
just Super Saiyan.
00 has made friends with the friendly version of this guy, but he can't tell the difference until evil guy hits him in the head. You know, then he knows for sure it's the wrong guy. So he's trying to get around. He gets hit in the head by the evil guy. The 2 pilots get a bunch of dust thrown into their face.
Well, that's right. I totally forgot about the dust scene.
Yeah, knockout dust, which is kind of cool, but you know, we thought they'd be tripping afterwards.
We didn't need any more trips in this movie.
Oh, they could have done a dream sequence.
We've already seen... the dream sequence probably would have had another song.
Yep.
The grace of the writers, though. You know, they just checked out. So.
I skipped the best part.
What was the best part,
I'm so dumb.
No, go ahead. What was the best part?
The dance number that the evil people did.
How could we even forget that?
I can't believe that, because I can't,
I'm still seeing it in my brain every moment.
Dude, that was a crazy-ass dance scene.
They're, like, looking through out of the prison at, like, a place just beyond it. And there's a huge 4-armed idol.
It's like a giant, like, Buddha.
Right. It kind of looks like Super Saiyan guy, except for I don't think he has the hair. But
he has like snails on his head, like the Buddha does in some statues.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, that's
really well done.
Like, all of a sudden my eyes were glued back on the screen, like, what the hell is going on here? A little racy, too.
Yeah.
If you ask me. A lot of bare midriffs, a lot of legs. A lot of...
It was like hula dancers, but they were doing these weird, like, it was a choreographed dance routine. You know what it reminded me of, though? It reminded me we watched this Coco Chanel movie, Coco Chanel and Igor Stravinsky, and in the movie, Igor Stravinsky writes a piece of music for a ballet.
Rite of Spring.
Yeah. And it reminded me of the ballet that they choreographed for that, because it's like this sort of...
not traditional at all.
Yeah, non-traditional dancing style. And like that non-traditional ballet was, it kind of reminded me of that. Kind of modern dance, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. There's still people weaving out of each other. You can almost see it like as girls in a swimming pool kind of version too. But the angle, like they were supposed to be evil, so they weren't doing like full like can kicks or something like that. They were all kind of hunched over, like sliding back and forth between each other,
laying their bodies upon the idol.
Yeah. At the end, being lifted up by the idol.
I feel like it was almost supposed to be like, because they kept doing the choreography in this like symmetrical pattern, I felt like it might, like the dancing maybe was supposed to be about like them and their evil twin. Like about how like everyone has like
two sides.
Their other side, yeah.
Oh wow.
And we didn't mention that the pilots figure that
they figure everyone on this island planet has an evil twin.
The island of Mars.
Hey, that's your new band.
Why not?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm cool with it.
That's great. Jimmy Buffett cover band. The island of Mars.
That's the worst cover.
That was probably the most memorable moment of the entire movie for me. And I just was wondering what the heck was going on the whole time.
Oh yeah, it's super. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Like other than it's supposed, this is a whole like native like bias thing. Like, oh yeah, they're worshiping an idol, and oh they don't really have clothes, and they don't have ways to communicate type thing that's going on there. But that whole dance sequence was like super cool.
Super cool. Agreed.
I salute you.
I found it pretty weird.
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely out of place with a lot of things, but I'm gonna have to say that it was definitely just interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was supposed to fill our adventures with like dread.
Oh, maybe.
Or maybe it was supposed to be something that was just so unknown to them. I don't know. I don't have to tell you, but it was a really cool kind of inclusion.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it added, but at the same time, it was like the most memorable moment.
Definitely. So there's Scooby-Dooing around. The two pilots get knocked out by the dust. It's up to our useless immigrant friend, 00, to save these guys. And he ends up he finds the strength to drag them along. Which is actually pretty funny when he's dragging them, like, two at a time. Like
the dummies, yeah.
Two dummies cool. Sliding on the ground.
That was awesome.
And then he gets them back to the rocket, and Evil Guy is hot on their trail. He's following after them. And it gets the two pilots in, and then we have a 5-minute sequence of him trying to climb the ladder, Evil Guy pulling him off the ladder, hitting him. He tries to get up the ladder again, goes between the legs. All of a sudden, we're going physical comedy again.
I stopped paying attention for a little bit during that moment, just because I was like,
It was very Three Stooges. Yeah.
Went on for a long time.
That ladder scene, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long enough for the entire evil village to catch up to them, essentially. Everybody's running out there with their spears to get these escapees back.
To the island.
All of a sudden, the 00 does something to the guy, and he falls over.
Yeah, he did some weird kind of neck pinch.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where Gene Roddenberry got it from.
Total Vulcan.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Totally speculative.
That's what it looked like. We find out what he did later, but yeah, it looked like he just like... like in Spaceballs. That's the only reference I have. But he gets it back into the rocket. He uses their instructions to set the dials and everything right, and boom, they're off. They're on their way back to Earth. I'm pretty sure, in reality, they should have died, crash-landed back into Mars, because this guy is a doofus.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna have to say, I'm glad they wrote down... they kept some pretty good notation that a man from 1930 could understand 1980s math.
Yeah.
And had the forthright ability to just get them back.
13.
I don't know, man. It's pretty hard to reason with, but at that point, I was just kind of glad that they were off Mars. So
yeah. On their way back, we get to our thrilling conclusion where we're in the courtroom, essentially, and roommate's girlfriend is there stalling. Once again, I find myself laughing at it like she was the female comedy relief. That's the person I usually find funny in these older movies, the one who's just supposed to be like a sassy, like snarky person.
Oh, God.
She's telling the judge, I'm having his baby, or I had his baby.
It was very Maury. Yeah. You're right. It was very Maury.
Like, what? Doesn't make any sense. They don't have babbies. They don't have babbies. They don't got no babbies that way.
How was Babby formed?
They get him out of a machine. Them babbies. 2 babbies.
Yeah, they already established that's where babies came from.
Yeah. And then a really cool shot happens, and I don't think Aaron saw this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Where we see the rocket going over the model city, and it's like...
I saw it.
You did see it?
Yeah, I was here for that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah,
the airplanes flying in front of it.
Yeah.
The air raid sirens going off.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
So we know they're almost there. Almost back. And they do get back in time, and everything's great, except for they can't prove that they've actually gone to Mars. I mean, how are they going to prove it? They didn't bring anything with them. Not even like a speck of dirt. Anything.
Nothing Martian with them at all.
But, and that's the end of the movie. So, no one wins. She marries the other guy. This guy throws himself off a bridge. Immigrant guy was arrested for interfering with the government experiment.
And for not having papers.
Yep. He didn't have the papers.
No papers.
Show me the papers. And the roommate runs off with the vampire guy.
I wonder how many poor 1930s men are brought back to life and just thrown out in the streets in the year 1980.
I'm done with you now. You're trash. You're not even a person.
Get out of here.
They're on the verge of a lot of new technology in this society.
Yeah.
Bringing people back from the dead, going to Mars. They've probably found a way to dispose of people, too.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I can make you disappear.
Or shoot them back through time.
Just sees them falling out of a plane. Yeah. No, but what really happened is immigrant. I'm losing the ability to say. 00 has kidnapped evil Super Saiyan. He now has his own slave.
Oh.
Marches him into the courtroom, and they're like, "You can't. That's impossible. You did not conquer this guy. And it turns out the way to conquer any Martian is to just grab him by the earlobe, and then boom, they're down for the count." And that's enough for the judge. The judge is like, yep, that's all the proof I need. That's definitely not just some big naked guy.
Oh, God.
Definitely a Martian.
Yep. You didn't just paint him that way or
put a hat on it.
Hair on him.
So you can get married now. Okay, bye.
The end, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Because going to Mars made him, the better man
more
for the marriage.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the kind of man you can get behind. The
Universal.
Mind throw his life away in an experiment that may not work. Is willing to enslave people and is really close with his roommate. Really close.
I don't know why. I mean, I guess...
They're BFFs. Come on, Joel.
Yeah. BFFs.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was going to say I don't know why. Some of the story in this is a little bit convoluted and weird,
oh, yeah.
but I understand,
about?
The hero needs to get the girl at the end, so we got there.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was an entertaining movie.
Oh, yeah.
I had a great time watching it. I'm going to have to say that this is definitely something I would recommend to people, just to be like, you need to see something crazy, watch this. This is crazy.
It was like White Christmas. But in space, in black and white.
Yeah.
With a bunch of weird crap.
Oh, White Christmas has the charm of Bing Crosby. This doesn't have anybody like that.
You're like, that guy was no Bing Crosby.
I think there's a scene in blackface in and White Christmas, so we got that going for it too.
I mean, I would say if I would summarize it, I would just try to explain like how cool the sets were. There's a lot of really cool like models.
Yeah.
The rocket ship.
Costumes.
I think you could watch like clips of this movie, certain clips, just to see some of the really cool stuff. Like the laboratory. I read that was actually predated the Frankenstein one, which was in 1941. So it was basically like a direct inspiration.
Cool.
And Mars, rocket ship, that dance scene.
Yeah.
And if you want to see something really stupid, Never Swat a Fly.
Oh, God. I forgot about that.
You're so lucky. So, I mean, it's free on YouTube.
Thank you, Randomizer. This was a great one.
Yeah, good pick. I'm glad we watched it, because we probably never would have otherwise. I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
The first science fiction talkie musical combination. I don't know if it was the first science fiction talkie just by itself, but definitely combination musical science fiction.
Cool.
Next week, we got a pick from my niece. Who's your niece, Joel? None of your business. No, her name is Mia, and she wanted us to watch...
Mia.
Hi, Mia. No, Aaron says hi.
Hi.
Mia, be polite. Okay. She wants us to watch the movie Her.
Okay.
And that is from, what was it, 2014?
Recently.
Yeah. The,
From recently.
Yeah. Who's the director?
Is it Spike?
Jones? Spike Jones? Yeah, I think you're right.
It's got Joaquin Phoenix in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix
it's
and
a good movie.
Scarlett Johansson.
Cool.
Yeah, Spike Jones. All right, cool.
Sounds good to me. I haven't seen it yet, so that'll be awesome.
Yeah. So until next week, how about a lesson or two? What'd you guys learn by watching this movie?
So much. I learned so much.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that apparently having an old-fashioned girl is good. I don't know. Sorry.
You certainly seem to think that's a thing.
That was mentioned quite often in this movie.
Explains why the women all seem just to be a bunch of flappers or whatever they're called. 1930s girls. Old-fashioned.
Oh, boy.
Sarah?
Don't go into space.
Only good things happen in space. I mean, that's the motto of our show.
If I were them and I knew that was what was going to happen, I probably wouldn't have gone.
Right. Yeah, I could see. The appeal is only for men, obviously. It's a planet full of women. Scantily clad women. Some of them are nice, some of them are naughty. So which one are you going to choose? It's up to you. Take your selection. And let's see. If you find that you may end up in a situation where you're going to get struck by lightning, say when you're golfing, maybe you should choose to get cremated. Just in case they want to try to resurrect you in the future. Yeah?
Yeah. Definitely.
We'll see you next week, folks. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye.
Bye.